Alright boys and girls, I hope you're having a lovely day, okay? Today boys, we've got another episode of games I played. You kind of know how this goes by now. I play a bunch of games, I talk about said games, sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. You know how it goes. Yeah, right now boys, you're probably wondering where am I even filming this video? Like what is this camera shot? Well, I'm currently sat on a beanbag chair boys in my office. The reason for that boys, I'm in the middle of a house move and yeah, my whole house is pretty much empty. I'll very quickly show you around. I'm not going to go through my whole house, but just to sort of give you an indication. So this is the office, that's where I'm recording. Basically the living room area is completely, I mean, it's just a mess. This has come down, we had to take that down, so obviously filming in here is sort of a no-go. Not to mention the fact that it's super echoey in there at the minute, because obviously it's quite empty. Same for this room, in fact this is the echoiest, I don't know, you know what I mean. It's really echoey in this room in particular. The office is definitely the best place to film right now. It's got the least echo, so let me put you guys down and let's proceed with the video. Okay then boys, let's actually get to what you guys are here for, the game. So I played quite a few games this month, like honestly quite a lot, but I played a lot of these games in like the beginning of the month, because in the latter half of this month I've just been super busy. In the beginning of the month I didn't really have much going on, I didn't have any work, I wasn't doing a lot of YouTube stuff, so yeah, I had tons of free time and I got loads of games played, whereas in the back end of the month, obviously I've been working and I've had basically no time, so it's a bit weird, but hey, it doesn't really matter. We played a lot of stuff is what I'm trying to get at. However, boys, there is a few games I did play that I'm not going to be talking about. The first one is going to be Matrix Path of Neo. I'm going to be doing an entire video dedicated to this game. I played through it, I finished it, so yeah, stay tuned for that. We're going to do a really awesome video on that one. That will be over on my main channel, by the way, so if you're not following my main channel, it's probably a good idea if you do want to see that video. The other one I'm not going to be talking about, boys, is going to be RoboCop. Now, I'd absolutely love to sit here and talk to you guys about this one because, I mean, it's freaking RoboCop. The reason I'm not going to is that I haven't really played enough of it yet. I haven't really had the time, like I said, boys. The back end of this month has been just crazy hectic, so I've not had a chance to play it properly. But once I do, I definitely will talk about it. So this will be mentioned in next month's games I played because, yeah, I've just not put enough time into it. Anyway, boys, the rest of the games I have played, I'm going to talk to you all about. And, yeah, it's been a bit of a mixed bunch. Like, there's been some really good stuff here, and then there's been some okay stuff. It's been a bit weird. And there's been no games I've hated this month, but yeah, there's been a few ones that I expected to really like and I didn't like as much as I thought. On the flip side though, there's a couple of games I didn't really expect to like too much and I ended up loving, so yeah, it sort of swings in roundabouts, let's say. Alright then boys, let's kick things off with a little bit of a retro banger, and that's going to be Ridge Racer Revolution. So yeah, for those who don't know, I'm an absolutely massive Ridge Racer fan. I'm trying to go for like a full Ridge Racer set. I want to collect all of these games and play through all of them, and Ridge Racer Revolution was one I picked up pretty recently. I got it in Tiverton, so if you watch that vlog, you'll know about it. And yeah, my expectations for Ridge Racer Revolution were pretty high, actually, because I've only played 2 of the PS1 Ridge Racer games, and I love both of them. Ridge Racer Type 4 is literally my favourite. It's just what kicked off my love for this series. Rage Racer as well, though, really good game. I loved that. So yeah, I was expecting Ridge Racer Revolution not to be as good as those other 2, but to be at least, you know, like, within the same paradigm. Does that make sense? And yeah, Ridge Racer Revolution is definitely not as good as those other 2 games, mainly because of a lack of content. Rage Racer and Ridge Racer Type 4 both have just a shit ton of stuff to do, whereas Ridge Racer Revolution is pretty bare bones. It's pretty much a straight up arcade port, so you kind of just have like a couple of tracks and you have to play those same tracks over and over and over again. There's no career mode or anything like that, and there's not really a lot to it. And if I'm not mistaken as well, I do believe that all 3 of the tracks are actually the same track, but just extended, so it's pretty much one track in the whole game. So yeah, once you've sort of played through the races on the different difficulties and played time trial, there's not a lot to do. Like, that's pretty much all you can do. So yeah, I played through all 3 of those tracks on the different difficulties. I played time trial a little bit, and yeah, that was pretty much it. That was my whole time with Ridge Racer Revolution. I played probably an hour and a half of this game at most. Yeah, I could have put a bit more time into this one. I could have maybe tried to get a better time on my time trial, but I don't know, I just didn't really feel compelled to do so because it just didn't feel rewarding in that sense. When you're doing like a career mode on a Ridge Racer game, you've kind of got an end in sight, you know, you've got somewhere to aim for and that's what you want to do is win the career mode if you like. Whereas with Revolution, you don't have that, so once I'd played the races, that was kind of it for me. In terms of the actual racing mechanics themselves, this one is kind of a bit weird. It took some getting used to, I must admit. You guys probably saw one of the vlogs where I was playing this game, and yeah, I wasn't having a good time with it because I just could not control the car. I just kept spinning out of control. It was a weird one. But what I realized about this game's like driving mechanics is you just don't want to drift. You don't even want to try to drift in this game. It's almost always better in this game to actually hit a wall or another car than it is to try and brake and spin and drift. It just almost doesn't work. And once I understood that, the racing became way easier, but it's just odd and bizarre that this game almost punishes you for trying to drift. There's probably some pros out there that are really good at drifting, but yeah, I was pretty terrible at it, so I kind of just, you know, would slam into a wall, and then, you know, it would decrease your speed, but it would be better than trying to turn and then your car would go all over the place. You get my point. Anyway, boys, I think I've rambled on enough about Ridge Racer Revolution. It was a fun game. I really like the vibe of it. It's a cool game, great soundtrack, but there just really wasn't a lot to do on it. I wish there was a career mode or something like that. Alright, and boys, the next console I'm going to be talking about is going to be the Nintendo Wii, and I actually played quite a lot of Wii games. I don't play my Nintendo Wii very often because it's an absolute ball ache to set it up. Like, you got to find batteries for the controller, you got to find the controller in the first place because it's in one of these boxes in this house somewhere. You got to get the sensor bar set up, you got to get all the cables. It's all a bit of a mess and it's just annoying. When I want to play the PS2, it's set up and ready to go. I don't have to think about where this, that, and the other is. It's all there. The only thing I might have to look for is a memory card or something like that. But this month I thought, you know what, I'm going to set it up and I'm going to play through a handful of games. And I actually played 3 games that I actually liked, all of them. Like, I enjoyed my time with all 3. So yeah, we'll start off with this one, boys. This one was really fun. Ghost Squad. This one is made by Sega and it's a light gun shooter. Absolutely fantastic game. Super duper awesome. It didn't take very long to beat this one, maybe an hour tops. It's a pretty easy light gun game. Like, I wouldn't say I'm like great at light gun games, but I'm okay, you know, I know what I'm doing. I'm decent enough with House of the Dead and Time Crisis and what have you, so yeah, I'm okay, but nothing crazy. But yeah, Ghost Squad was definitely on the easier side. Time Crisis is a lot harder, as well as other ones I've played. But honestly, boys, I didn't really mind that, you know, because the last thing I want to be doing is tear up my hair out over a light gun shooter. These games are meant to be fun, and this certainly was that. So yeah, in terms of the structure of this one, boys, is a little bit different to other light gun games. So basically, you've got like 3 different missions in this game, and you can play any of the missions in any order you like. With other light gun games, you just go stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, so on and so forth until the game is ended. With Ghost Squad, though, like I said, you can play them in any sort of order. So yeah, mission 1 is pretty simple. It's easy stuff. There's nothing complicated about it. There is a helicopter boss at the end, but it's super duper easy. You will not struggle with mission 1 at all. Mission 2 is the shortest of the 3 missions, but there's a bit at the end that is a little bit of a pain in the ass. Basically, you've got a gun and you've got 1 bullet and you have to shoot this guy in the head, and if you miss the shot, mission failed, alright? It's kind of annoying. It's not terribly difficult or anything, but it's just the fact that you've only got 1 shot and you've got to make it count. So mission 2 can be a bit annoying. Mission 3 is the longest mission of all 3 of the missions. Again, it's pretty easy, it's not too difficult, but there is a bit at the end that I wouldn't say is hard, but it's probably the hardest part of the game. You have to shoot these things and stuff. That's the whole fucking game is shooting things, but I don't know, you have to shoot some stuff. It's easy, but it's not that easy compared to the rest of the game. Does that make sense? Probably not. Anyway, point is, boys, you can play all of these missions in whichever order. The way that I did it is I started with mission 2 because, again, that 1-shot thing, I just figured it was a good idea to start with that just in case I mess it up. Then I went over to mission 3 because it was quite a long and bulky one, and then I ended with mission 1 because I knew that it was going to be super easy, and yeah, it didn't take me long to beat it. It was fun. I shot people. It was very campy and arcadey. This game is very much Sega at their best, you know. This game feels like a Sega game, and yeah, it was just fun. It was silly, it was goofy, but I had a good time with it. Alright, boys, the next Nintendo Wii game I want to talk about was a really, really big surprise. I did not expect to like this game as much as I ended up liking it, and that game is going to be The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. So this was another Tiverton pickup that I got recently, and I kind of just wanted this game because it's Billy and Mandy, and I've got nostalgia for this cartoon. I adore Cartoon Network, so when I see a game that's Cartoon Network, I will almost always buy it. But yeah, I didn't really buy this one expecting to play it straight away. I just wanted it for the collection, and I just figured it was going to sit there for a while, but I was looking at like different Wii games, and like I just wanted to find some quick ones, so I started typing on YouTube, you know, like the different games I had in my collection, and just seeing how long they were. And yeah, I saw this game had a really short playthrough. I think it was something like 45 minutes, so I thought, okay, it's a bit bizarre, but alright, we'll take that. I didn't even know what type of game this was. I just saw that it was short, and I thought it'd be a nice quick one to get through, and yeah, it was very short. This game was quick, and in terms of what it is, it's basically basically a sort of Smash Brothers type game. Now, I'll be honest, I've never actually played a Smash Brothers game, so yeah, this was kind of like my first experience playing that type of fighting game, and yeah, it's kind of amazing, boys. I actually really like this game, and it kind of made me feel like I probably ought to buy a Smash Brothers game, because if I liked Billy and fucking Mandy, then I'll probably like Smash Bros. And yeah, it's pretty chaotic, boys, I won't lie. Like, there's a lot going on at times, and it can be a little bit over the top, but it's really fun. It's just a really good time. Graphically, this game looks absolutely fantastic. It's got like a cel-shaded art style, and it's aged really well. Like, this game visually looks fantastic. The gameplay's pretty damn fun. It doesn't have like annoying ass Wii controls like a lot of Wii games. It's half the reason I don't really play the Wii very often, is I just find the controls really annoying, but no, the controls were super good. The game has like quite a decent variety of weapons, so you can pick shit up and beat people up. I don't know, boys, it's just quite a good time. Like, it's actually a bit of a hidden gem. But yeah, like I was saying before, boys, this game was super duper short, and that's what I was looking for, is something quick to play, but I enjoyed it so damn much, and I was actually sad that I beat it as quickly as I did. So I thought, you know what, boys, I'm gonna play through the story mode again, because it's kind of like a fighting game where you can play it with different characters. So I thought, you know what, yeah, let's go for a different character. In the first playthrough, I played as Grim, because, you know, he's cool. In the second playthrough, I can't even remember who I played as now. I just played as someone random, and just someone that looked cool. But yeah, one of my only critiques with this game is the fact that the story mode is exactly the same no matter who you play as. And I was kind of hoping it was going to be a bit like Tekken, where you get like at least a different ending, you know, per character or something. But no, the story mode is exactly the same, so that's kind of shit. Yeah, that aside, boys, the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was super duper fun. I thoroughly recommend this game if you like the Wii, and yeah, if you like fighting games, I think this is a good one. Alright, now boys, let's talk about the final Nintendo Wii game, and this one is actually the reason I set the Wii up in the first place, because this was the game I wanted to play, and that game is going to be Spongebob Truth or Square. So, for those who don't know, I'm a big Spongebob fan, and almost embarrassingly so. The first 3 seasons of Spongebob plus the movie, goated, alright? Everything after that, yeah, not really a fan of, but those first 3 seasons are so good, and I go back and watch them because they're that good. So when it comes to Spongebob games, I really like them too. I don't like all of them, but I do like most of them. Yeah, my favorite Spongebob game of all time is Spongebob Battle for Bikini Bottom. It's just so good, alright? If you've never played that game, you definitely should, and it's a childhood classic. I loved that game as a kid, and I love it now. I've gone back and played it. It's so good. Yeah, when it comes to Battle for Bikini Bottom and the gameplay for that one, they use that gameplay for like a lot of the Spongebob games. So just like off the top of my head, the Spongebob movie game is almost identical to Battle for Bikini Bottom in terms of gameplay. Same with the Cosmic Shake, which was a pretty recent one. When it comes to Truth or Square, once again, it's pretty much got the exact same gameplay as Battle for Bikini Bottom. The only difference here, boys, is actually the sort of like structure of the game is pretty different. In Battle for Bikini Bottom, it kind of works like Mario 64, where instead of getting golden stars, you get golden spatulas. So I really like that structure. It just gives you that sort of collectathon vibe. When it comes to Truth or Square, it's pretty much all level based, so you just go from level to level to level, and yeah, it's definitely not as good. I definitely prefer the structure of Battle for Bikini Bottom, but you know, the gameplay's still fun with this. What I will say about this game though, boys, is there's a bit more focus on the combat, which I definitely think was a bit of a misturn. I don't think they should have made the combat the main sort of focus. I wish there was a bit more focus on the actual platforming, because that's what makes Battle for Bikini Bottom the GOAT of all GOATs. The platforming in that game is 10 out of 10, whereas in this one, it's almost pushed to the side a little bit, and they just throw hordes of enemies at you, and you've got to attack them, and it's definitely not that great of a game when it comes to combat. I mean, for goodness sake, it's SpongeBob SquarePants Truth or Square, you know, this isn't fucking Dark Souls or Bloodborne, alright? So yeah, the combat is pretty But yeah, I don't want to be overly negative with this game, boys, because I didn't think it was bad or anything. I just hoped it was going to be better, and it just didn't quite live up to those expectations, but I do think it was okay. It wasn't bad. It had a lot of charm to it. I really liked the music, of course. It had a lot of the music from Battle for Bikini Bottom, as well as other SpongeBob songs that are just goated. And on top of that as well, it's a bit of a small thing, but I just thought it was cool. In the loading screens, this game would have like SpongeBob trivia, and I don't know, I just kind of enjoyed that for some reason. Most of these questions are pretty easy if you've watched even a few episodes of SpongeBob, but I don't know, I just quite liked that in the loading screens. It made me actually look forward to a loading screen. Anyway, long story short, boys, Truth or Square, it was alright, you know, nothing crazy, but it wasn't bad. Okay then, guys, the next game I want to talk about is going to be a PlayStation PlayStation 2 game, and this game is aged really well. I did not expect this game to be as good as it was. Anyway, that game is going to be Fight Night Round 2. So for those who don't know, I'm going for like a bit of a boxing game collection at the minute. Pretty much if I see a boxing game, I'm going to buy it, alright? Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's not like stupid money. I did see a boxing game the other day, and it was like 30 quid, and I was like, that's a lot of money. It was on the Wii. I think it was just called Punch Out or something. I don't know if it's anything to do with Mike Tyson's Punch Out, but yeah, I don't want to pay 30 quid for a boxing game, at least right now. But yeah, when I see them at a cheap and cheerful price, I'm definitely picking them up, and this one I picked up for like 50p or something. So yeah, anyway, long story short, boys, Fight Night Round 2, really good. It's aged ridiculously well. I wasn't expecting it to be crazy good, because obviously it's on the PS2, and I just figured it wasn't going to be as good as the PS3 Fight Night games, but honestly, I think it's up there. Like, it really is that good. The way that punches flow in this game is really nice. Like, the gameplay is super duper smooth, and it's just really fun to actually play it. The career mode is pretty bob standard. You kind of know what to expect if you've played any boxing game career mode, but I had fun with it. I really enjoyed progressing through the career. But yeah, one thing that I thought was really awesome about this game, and I was just like kind of blown away by it a little bit, was the cut and like swelling mini games. So in between rounds in this game, you can actually control the cut man and the guy that does like the swelling and stuff, and it's really detailed and it looks really good. On top of that as well, it just like was really fun. I just thought that mini game was actually kind of crazily good, and I don't remember it being in any of the other Fight Night games. It probably is, but I don't remember it. So yeah, I thought that was pretty damn awesome. The training in this game is pretty meh, nothing crazy. There's only a couple of mini games for that, but you know, they're easy enough. But yeah, mainly, boys, again, it's all about the boxing in this one, and it plays really smoothly, and I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be fun, obviously, but I thought it was going to be a bit, you know, janky because it's on the PS2, but to my surprise, it played really good. So yeah, if you like boxing games, Fight Night Round 2, it's aged really well. Alright, boys, I've still got 5 games to talk about, and I'm running out of battery on my camera, so I might have to speed this up a little bit, or else we're going to run out of battery. Alright, then, boys, so this one is one that I've not actually finished yet. I'm nearly finished. I'd probably say an hour and a half away or so from beating it, but yeah, it's longer than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, that game is going to be Darksiders. So yeah, this is a game I've had it in my collection for a long old time. It's been sat there collecting dust, really, and I just randomly, spontaneously pulled it out and thought, yep, let's play Darksiders. So yeah, when it comes to Darksiders, it's a game that I wish I liked it more than I actually do. I think it's good, but I wish I loved it, you know? For me, this is like a 7.5 out of 10, whereas I feel like it should be a 9 out of 10. And it's not like the game's fault necessarily, I don't know, I want to like it more than I do. When it comes to the story to Darksiders, I think it's actually super good. I'm really invested in the story, and I'm looking forward to playing the other Darksiders games, mainly for that story. This game's got really, really interesting characters, and I like most of them, and they're all really well voice acted, and there's some really good voice actors here. So like, for example, you've got Mark Hamill in this game, which is super cool. The guy that does the voice of the main character, if I'm not mistaken, is the same voice actor that does Gara. He sounds literally identical, so I'm assuming it's him. Gara, for those who don't know, is a guy in Naruto, and he's one of my favorite characters in Naruto, so I just instantly recognized his voice. But yeah, the characters, the story, all of that stuff is top notch. However, boys, where I'm a bit conflicted is actually on the gameplay front. So when it comes to like the combat, it's incredible. I love the combat. It's pretty much old school God of War, and yeah, I'm sold, alright, because I love God of War. Where I'm conflicted though, boys, is kind of the puzzles, because I just don't really like puzzles that much, and I feel like there's a lot of puzzles in Darksiders. It's sort of like 50-50, you know, with combat and puzzles, and I just wish it was, I don't know, 70-30. I feel like I get into the combat of this one, I really enjoy it, I'm loving it, I'm slashing people up, it's great, and then the game stops me to do a puzzle, and I'm shit at puzzles and stupid, so it takes me way longer than it should, and it just feels stop, start, and I wish that we could just have a little less puzzles and a bit more combat, and I would love this game if we could have that. With that said though, boys, I still think Darksiders is a fantastic game. I would recommend it if you've never played it, and yeah, I do look forward to playing the rest of the series. Alright, boys, this next one is one that I'm once again a little bit hit and miss on. I don't think it was bad necessarily, but I kind of feel exactly the same as I did with Darksiders. I wish that I liked it a bit more. Anyway, that game is going to be Travis Strikes Again. So yeah, for those who don't know, this is a No More Heroes game, and it's kind of like a spin-off from the series. It's very different to the other No More Heroes games. I've not played No More Heroes 3, but I have played the first and the second one, and I adore the first one. The first one is just incredible. Second one, yeah, it's not quite as good, but it's not bad. Yeah, when it comes to Travis Strikes Strikes Again, I don't know how I feel about it, because I think it's a good game, I don't think it's bad, but I just don't think it's quite as good as the other two. And the gameplay to this one was just a complete departure from the series, and it's a bit repetitive and stale. I felt myself getting a bit bored with the gameplay, probably about halfway through it. It's got a very sort of zoomed out camera sort of style to it, so like the other No More Heroes games, you're like in fully third person and you're slashing away and it's gory and over the top, whereas this one, it's very zoomed out and there's not really any gore, and I don't know, it doesn't hit the same as the other two games. And also when it came to the story, I was nowhere near as invested in this story as I was with the other two, and I think it just sort of came down to the characters. A lot of the characters that I've grown to really love from those first two games aren't really in this game, and yeah, I just felt like it needed those characters to really make me invested. You do get a very quick cameo appearance from Shinobu right at the end of the game, but you know, I would have liked that during the game instead. And also Sylvia wasn't in this game, which was kind of unexpected. I just figured she would be in here somewhere, at least once or twice. But yeah, from memory, I don't think she's in this game. And I'm just trying to now remember, because I can't remember much about No More Heroes 2's story, but because it's been a while since I played it, but I'm trying to think, like, did she die or something? Like, because yeah, she just didn't make any appearance. I don't know, boys. Like I said, I just wasn't that invested in the story, so maybe I missed some bits here and there, but yeah, it just didn't hit the same as the other two games. However, boys, what I do like about this one is the different references to other games. I thought that was super duper cool. So, for example, in this game, there's one sort of entire chapter that's entirely based around Shadows of the Damned. For those who don't know, that's another Suda51 game, and I played that very recently, and I adored it. And there's an entire chapter that is based around that entire game for some reason, and it's super cool. It's my favorite level in the whole game. I don't think Shadows of the Damned is ever gonna get a sequel. I would love it if it did, but yeah, the fact that it was just a whole sort of level in this game based around that, I don't know, I liked that. And also, the final chapter had a load of references to, I can't remember, what's the game called? Hotline Miami. I don't know why I forgot that. It's one of my favorite games ever. Yeah, those references were super duper cool and unexpected. So that was my favorite thing about this game, was those different cool references. So yeah, I didn't think this game was bad. I didn't hate it, but it definitely wasn't as good as the other games that I've played in the series. Okay then, boys, let's hop onto a game that I actually really did like, okay? And that is going to be Dead Space for the PS5. So I'm a big fan of Dead Space, alright? I absolutely love these games. But when it came to the remake, it was one that I was kind of like putting off like buying, because I just didn't think Dead Space 1 needed a remake. I figured Dead Space 1 is fine, you know. I played it like a couple of years ago and I just didn't think it needed a remake. I really didn't. But I saw this for like 20 quid a little while ago and I thought, you know what, for £20, oh, you know, let's find out. Let's play it through and see what we think. And yeah, after playing through it, I really loved it, alright? It was absolutely fantastic. I loved every second of it. I still don't think Dead Space 1 needed a remake though. This game does make a lot of improvements. Isaac talks now, which is cool. It seemed like a longer game. It felt a bit more in-depth. There was probably just extended periods. The combat is slightly more improved. I will say this game is harder as well than the original Dead Space. The original Dead Space was pretty easy, whereas the early chapters of this game were pretty difficult. I felt like the enemies took a bit more of a beating. Once you get some upgrades, the combat does become pretty easy, but yeah, I will say it was a little harder, which I liked. And I also like the fact that the guns felt a bit different in this one to the original. Like, for example, in the original one, my favorite gun by far is the line gun. That shit is so good in the original. It wasn't as good in the remake, I didn't think. Whereas the Ripper in the remake is like my favorite weapon, or at least one of them. Whereas in the remake, whereas in the original, I don't really like the Ripper that much. So yeah, I kind of like what they did with the guns. It made it feel like a bit of a fresh and different experience. But yeah, when it comes to the atmosphere and the horror of Dead Space, it's 10 out of 10. It's so fucking good, and it's just a great game, isn't it? Like, if you've played Dead Space, you already know it's fantastic. But unfortunately, boys, I need to wrap it up there because I've still got 2 games left to talk about, and my camera is not got long on the battery. So yeah, if you haven't played Dead Space, play it. All right, that's all I need to say. All right, this next one, I need to rush through this now. I'm worried this camera's running out of battery. Call of Duty World at War for the PS2. To be honest with you, boys, it was fine. I played this in a vlog and I was like really loving it because you had a flamethrower and you were killing people and it was good. It was good fun. The problem with this game is it just doesn't do anything after that to blow you away. Once you play 2 or 3 missions of this one, it just becomes very stale very quickly, and it wasn't bad like at all. It was very playable. It was decent. It was fairly modern for a PS2 game. It wasn't that janky, but yeah, like I said, said, it just doesn't really do a lot. Like, it just, I don't know, it felt very repetitive very quickly. On top of that as well, this game was actually super duper glitchy. I had a lot of glitches in this one, and I did actually try to film one with my phone because it was just so hilariously stupid. From memory, I'm pretty sure the glitch was like we were in this car and the passengers in the car were like in a running animation whilst we were driving, and it wasn't like game breaking or anything, but it was just fucking stupid. It looked hilariously dumb. But I did have a couple of annoying glitches. Like, there was a couple of moments where I had to restart from the nearest checkpoint because it just blocked me from progress. So yeah, it's a little bit glitchy, this one. But yeah, it's definitely not as good as Call of Duty on the PS3. The PS3 version of World at War is absolute cinema. The PS2 one is fine. It's just okay. But like I said, boys, we gotta move on. All right, boys, the final game we're going to be talking about, and I once again need to whiz through it, Tony Hawk's 3+4. So I did already talk about this one a little bit in my last video, and in that video I said about the fact that I was going to be going for a platinum trophy, and I still want to get that platinum trophy, but I'm not going to be going for it right now because my backlog is far too big, and I've tried to sort of do some of the solo tours, and it's just too long, boys. It's the platinum trophy for this game is just fucking, it's too much. You have to basically beat this game like 29 times, which is not, like, that's not normal. That's a lot of times. Once you've beaten this game once or twice, you know, obviously it does get quicker because you kind of know how to beat it, you know, it does get easier as you play it, but 29 times, I don't know, boys, I beat this game maybe 5 or 6 times and I was getting really bored. I've done quite a few of the challenges already, so I've done most of that. I've still got quite a few of the speedrun ones to do, but yeah, that aside, I've done a lot of the expert ones, so that wasn't really a problem. I enjoyed those, but yeah, I just felt like beating the game over and over and over again is just a bit, yeah. So I probably will get the platinum one day, but it's one that will come much, much later. I just haven't got the time to sit there and play this. But anyway, boys, let's like revert back a little bit. Let's actually talk about the game itself. It's good. It's a good remake. I think it's decent. It's not as good as it should be because, I mean, Pro Skater 4 certainly has been tanked and downgraded massively, but it's Tony Hawk at the end of the day. If you like Tony Hawk, you'll like this remake. In terms of everything they've done with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, it's pretty damn awesome, alright? They've remade Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 exactly as it should be. The 4 is the problem because obviously 4 had a career mode and it's just not the same, alright? And they've basically just made 4 exactly how they made 3. Does that mean that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 is not fun? No, it's still fun. It's just, it's not Pro Skater 4, you know? It's a completely different game to how Pro Skater 4 actually should be. However, what I've heard about this game, boys, is that it was actually made in 8 months, which is fucking unbelievable. The fact that they remade that game in 8 months is credit to the team, alright? That's incredibly good. So yeah, when I take that into account, this remake is very impressive, but this game didn't need to be made in 8 months. Like, why couldn't Activision just give them, I don't know, an extra year, and, you know, we could have had a proper good remake? I don't know why they had to rush this out in 8 months. It's not like the demand for this game was at an astronomical high. They could have took their time with this. And this one just sort of screams of a little bit of an Activision cash grab. I feel like they just wanted to get this out there for, you know, the people that like Tony Hawk, and they didn't really care about remaking it as best as they could. And it's not discredit to the team that did it. That's discredit to Activision, because that was obviously their decision. They wanted to make money, you know, and they didn't want to spend too much time or resources making this one, which is fucking annoying. But like I said, boys, it's still Tony Hawk. It's still fun. I still think it's great. So yeah, if you like Tony Hawk, I recommend this game. It's definitely worth playing. All right, then, boys and girls, that is all the games that I played in the month of, what month are we in now? Fucking forgotten. August? No, it's July, right? I need to check. July. Fuck, I'm so stupid. Yeah, we did play a lot of games, boys. I did play a lot. I said I played a lot, and we did. As for next month's games I played, it's probably not going to be as many games because obviously I'm working a job now. So yeah, I'm probably not going to have as much to talk about. But hopefully, you know, I'll still be able to play through a few games and we can still do a games I played episode. If I don't, for whatever reason, like let's say I only play 1 or 2 games, I'll just like continue it into the next month. So I'll do a games I played for August and September, if that's the case. But I don't think it will be a problem, boys. I'm sure I'll be able to play at least 4 or 5 games. They might not be the longest and most in-depth games, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. But anyway, boys, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you all did enjoy. If you did, like the video, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next one, alright? Peace.